Namandab, 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 namandab. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for our Dharma Family Service combined with our October Shotsuki Monthly Memorial Service. We're trying something a little different. We do it this way over the summer, just having the one service, but going to try just kind of do it combined today. So what I'd like to do first is read the names of those who've passed away in the month of October. Maya Aikawa, Charles S. Ajari, Kane Aochi, Shigeru Asakura, Kane Baba, Takashi Baba, Gloria Bukal, Ichi Chiyoda, Hachiro Endo, Heitaro Fuji, Kikuno Fuji, Fred Fuji, Rikizo Fujinami, Marie Miyako Fujino, William Furuta, Miao Harada, Sunao Harada, Katsuji Harano, Seki Hayashi, Kiichi Hiramoto, Jitsuro Hiramoto, Lauralee Tucker Hiramoto, Saki Hirao, Fumio Honda, Horizo Horimoto, Kyoko Idehara, Jukichi Igaki, Tomenosuke Inouchi, Fusayo Inoue, Shokichi Isono, Seitaro Iwamoto, Jitsugo Iwata, Yuki Kamano, Tatsumi Kanada, Seiso Kanesaki, Alice Kaneshige, Shonosuke Kato, Yoshie Kawabata, Hatsu Kawabe, Tokichi Kawamoto, Shuichi Kawaoka, Ichiro Kayatani, John Kido, Meiji Kido, Teiko Kido, Takashi Kimoto, Setsuko Kimura, Shige Kisanuki, Kokichi Kia, Tameji Kobori, Kathleen Kober, Jane Kosakura, Yoshie Kume, Tama Kuritsubo, Harry Kuratori, Tamae Kuratori, Shoroku Kuwahara, Grace Masui, Sachi Masuyama, George Matsui, Gary Matsumoto, George Matsutani, Misty Minamihara, Tomiko Minamoto, Yuki Minamoto, Tomijiro Miyagawa, Barbara Setsuko Mizota Detata, Reverend Shoki Mori, Kazue Mori, Roy Mori, Jean Tatsuo Moriki, Sumiko Murashima, Taki Nagafuji, Shigeji Naito, Sachie Nakamura, Kohachi Nakao, Satsuki Nakao, Reverend Juko Nakashima, Tsuneno Nakatani, Ben Nakaya, Torataro Nakayama, Yaichi Nakazono, Alan Neishi, Motomu Neishi, Tsunekichi Niizawa, Toshiko Ninomiya, Kerry Nita, Sam Hoyo Noma, Seizo Nomura, Tamayo Norimoto, Mieko Okamoto, Sei Okawa, Fujie Oniki, Etsuko Onizuka, Edward Otake, Ted Hitoshige Sakaki, Kumashichi Sakamoto, Kikue Samishima, Hisa Sasaki, Tomekichi Satake, Hidemi Seiji, Shigeru Seta, Tomie Seta, Yasumatsu Shigaya, Bruce Shimada, Ruth Shimada, Harvey Shinomoto, Fumiko Evelyn Soga, George Takahashi, Tame Takahashi, Mineko Takata, Shinobu Tani, Masayuki Terada, Lauren Teramura, Eya Ugai, Misao Watanabe, Wataru Watanabe, Ruth Miyoko Wong, Dai Yamabe, Baby Yamamoto, John Yamamoto, Miyuki Lois Yamamoto, Tatsuyo Yamamoto, Michi Yamane, Kuhachiro Yamaoka, Tsuya Yamashita, Choshiro Yokoyama, Yoshino Yokoyama, Ino Yoshida, Misa Yoshida, Yozo Yoshida, Grace Yoshioka, Sho Saburo Yoshioka. Okay, next we will have Sutra chanting, and today we'll chant Sanbutsuge. So the words will be up on the screen, but it's also on page 22 in the small purple book and 79 in the large purple book. Namandab, 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 namandab. Kogen gigi ijin mugok nyozen myo muyo tosha nichigatsumani shuko enyo kai shitsu onpei yunyaku jumok nyorai yogen chose murin shogaku daion koru jippo Kaimon shojin sanmai chi-e itoku muryo shushoke jintai zennen shobutsu hokai gujin jin no kugo gaitai mumyo yokunu seson yomu ni no shishi jin toku muryo kukun kodai chi-e jin myo komyo iso shindo dai sen ganga sabuts zai shoho kado shoji mifuge datsu fusejoi kainin shojin nyoze sanmai chi-e ijo gosei tokubutsu fugyo shigan isai kuku isadayam keshi ubutsu yakusen okuman muryo daisho shunyo goja kuyo isai shito shobutsu punyo gudo Kansho fukyak hinyo goja shobutsu sekai bufukake mushu setsudo komyo shisho hen shisho kok nyoze shojin ijin nanyo ryoga sabutsu kokudo daiichi goshuki myo dojo chozetsu 国女内音任務とそがと愛民道脱一切実法支配所心熱症状糸が国下落安穏古物神妙是が心象発願の非力少々欲実法世尊違え無下上領子孫違が信用軽量心死食毒中が行精進人寿不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等性一切道本菩提心往生安楽ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナマンダナマンダナマンダ。 Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for our service today. If you're online and you're not in the Bay Area, it's hot. This heat wave was supposed to have ended, I think, on Wednesday, right? And it just seems to keep going and going and going. So I'm wearing my Halloween tie with the jack-o'-lanterns on it, trying to bring fall. Because fall is my favorite season, and it's supposed to have already started, but it feels like summer. But I shouldn't complain too much, right? And so I'm just happy to be here. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. So, boom. So it is our Dharma Family Service, which is kind of normal Sunday service without Dharma School, but also we're doing it together with our October Shotsuki Monthly Memorial Service. So I'm kind of frazzled, I think, partly because of the heat, but also because the past 2 days I've been down in San Jose because, let's see, where'd it go? There. We had our FBWA conference, the Federation of Buddhist Women's Association Conference, which is the Fujinkai. This is kind of our national conference. And it was in San Jose. So my 4th and 5th trips to San Jose in the past month or so. I went there a lot last month, and then I drove down Friday night and then drove back again yesterday. So here's a picture of the conference booklet up on the screen, and to show how frazzled I am, I was going to bring it and hold it up for you. It's down in the office because I forgot to grab it, right? So I'm glad I took a picture of it. You can see, maybe here's the online version. And so the theme was Ichi-go, Ichi-e. Okay, Ichi-go, Ichi-e. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit and then put it maybe in context of Shotsuki. So there's the kanji up there, and Ichi-go, Ichi-e. The ichi happens twice, right? Ichi just means one. Go just means time or period, right? And then the e is to meet or to gather, right? So Ichi-go, Ichi-e. Literally maybe one moment, one meeting, right? We could say it kind of literally. Did you know, I talked about Forrest Gump a few months ago, back in June, but what I forgot to tell you is the Japanese title of Forrest Gump it's Tom Hanks wa, right? Tom Hanks is Forrest Gump, Ichi-go, Ichi-e. Wow, Ichi-go, Ichi-e is part of the title of Forrest Gump in Japanese. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm going to talk about this maybe a little bit more later. I love, it's so funny, like, not just Japanese, right? But taking a title of a movie and turning it into a foreign language, there's some really funny ones, right? Where you're like, how did they come up with that? Right? So maybe Forrest Gump is like that too, right? Forrest Gump, Ichi-go, Ichi-e. And the way they translated it on the conference booklet is each precious moment, a precious encounter. Right? Each precious moment, Ichi-go, a precious encounter, Ichi-e. So that's not literal, right? That's more trying to capture the feeling. I don't really know what Ichi-go, Ichi-e means. I never heard that when I was growing up. I know Ohayo gozaimasu and itadakimasu and sayonara, oyasumi, right? I know the aisatsu stuff, but this is more of the kind of this cultural feeling of Ichi-go, Ichi-e. I looked it up online in one of my favorite online dictionaries. Here are some other possibilities. Once in a lifetime encounter. Uniquely precious experience. One lifetime, one meeting. So I don't like that last one. I don't think that quite catches it. But the others are okay, right? That this moment, this precious encounter, right? Here we are, this second, this moment, right? And not to take it for granted, right? To realize, wow, we're meeting, we're here, right? We get to be here and we get to be together. Right? Normally we're like, yeah, I came, I paid my obligation, I went to church, what am I going to have for lunch, you know, what's going to happen later, it's hot, right? That's what's going through our heads, but really, no. Amazing, right? How precious this moment for us to be able to be together. Maybe even more so. Like I know I talked to a few of you this morning, and some of you I didn't have a chance, right? Maybe I just said hello, right? And maybe later on I might feel like, oh, I should have said more. Why didn't I ask questions? Why didn't I blah, blah, blah? But at the same time, even the chance to say hello, right? Even the chance to meet is so precious. Right? I think that's part of maybe what's going on with this expression. Now, Reverend Harada gave the Dharma Talk yesterday for the opening service. He's our bishop. And unfortunately, he couldn't be there in person. He was possible COVID exposure, so he didn't come, but he pre-recorded his talk, which I was pretty impressed by, right? So you still got a Dharma talk from him, and he talked about this theme, and he said his teacher, one of his teachers, I think it was Reverend Kubose, described it this way. Live this moment like it's your first moment and your last. So that it's, in one sense, it's, whoa, brand new. I could just be like, you know what? I've done so many Shotsuki services. I've done so many Dharma Family Services. I could do this in my sleep. I'm just going to sleepwalk through it. No. Once again, right? I have to take this chance, this opportunity to talk to you, right? This precious opportunity, like it's the first time. Maybe that would be better. I'm misremembering, I think. Live this moment like it's the first time and like it's your last time. I could die right after this. I could keel over. Right? And so this could be my last Dharma talk. Right? So rather than be like, I'll get it better next time. And I do feel that way sometimes. I'm happy when I get to record something and I mess up, I do it again, and then I do it live, and I'm like, yeah, I've practiced, right? But in this case, right, no, maybe this is the last chance. It's my first chance, it's like the first time and the last time. So maybe that's also part of this Ichi-go, Ichi-e kind of feeling. Now the guest speaker, one of the speakers described it this way: appreciate this moment or each moment because the past is already done, right? I could be thinking, oh, yesterday I could have done this and I should have done that, right? But the past, it's already gone. There's nothing I can do about the past. But the future never comes. The future is always in the future. If I'm sitting around thinking about what's next, then I'm not here, right? I'm not here in this moment. And so there's something about that idea, to live in the present. Don't get stuck in the past, because we can't change it. And don't get stuck in the future, whether you're worrying about the future or waiting for the future. It never comes. The moment that you were waiting for comes, and then it's gone, and then the future is still out there in front of us. Okay? So I think these are all kind of Buddhist ideas. This idea comes maybe from Sado and maybe from Zen teacher, but a lot of the Sado is like tea, Japanese tea, right? But a lot of actually tea ceremony can be Shinshu too, right? Shinshu grew out of the various traditions. So, there's this idea of, so I'm going to shift over kind of to Shotsuki, because I know for some of you it's your Shotsuki. Shotsuki is this monthly memorial, and so all those names that I read at the beginning are people that have passed away this month. Right? So I know some people are here for that service, and it's this opportunity to hear their name, and then maybe when you hear their name, to think about them, right? And what comes, right? And you don't have to do it alone, though. We get to do it as Sangha, right? We get to do it, and we get to do it in a very special way, too. Chanting the sutras, offering incense, right? So this Shotsuki is really important. And so that's when sometimes I think, okay, so appreciate this moment. Don't worry about the past. Don't think about the future. But at the same time, maybe we can think about the past, right? And appreciate the past. So my birthday was last week. So there I am. I don't know if you recognize that from this morning when you're down there, right? That's the counter in back with the mail thing. Don't look at that stuff. Look at the stuff in front, right? And again, the Halloween. Actually, I wasn't going to wear a tie because it's so hot. Right? And I was like, I think I better wear a tie. It's Shotsuki. And then somebody mentioned how in Japan they do something called cool biz. That's what they called it like 20 years ago when I lived there. So even politicians and newscasters, when it's really hot, they don't wear a tie in summertime. But then I was like, I got my Halloween jack-o'-lantern picture. I got to wear my jack-o'-lantern tie to try to get it to be fall again, right? So it was my birthday. And so thinking about my birthday, normally, when it's birthday, yeah, it's my birthday. Where are my presents? Look, it's my cake, right? And it's me, for me anyway, right? But actually, it makes me think back. 54 years ago, 54 years and several days ago, that's me. I think right after I was born, right? And so, again, it's still me, right? But of course, it makes me think of my parents. Right, indulge me a little bit, okay? So that's my parents and that's me. We're at Meiji Jingu, which is this shrine, I think it's the Emperor's Shrine or something in Meiji Emperor's Shrine, right, in Tokyo. So I was born in Tokyo. My dad was white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, 12 generations or something. My mom was Japanese from Iwate, kind of northeastern Japan, and they had me, right? Oh, here's a little close-up. Do I look like either of them? Maybe a little bit, right? And so that's me and my parents. I'm fortunate to have this picture. That's me and my grandparents on my mother's side. And I say fortunate because I only met my grandfather once more after this, and my grandmother only 4 or 5 more times, right? My grandfather, by the time I met him, though, had dementia, and so I saw him, I met him, but never really got to talk to him. I couldn't really speak Japanese, and my grandmother couldn't speak English, so I never really talked to her. I met her several times. She talked to me. One of my memories is being 12 years old and going to the village And the day we were going to leave, she came in my room and sat me down and started talking. I have no idea what she said. The best part, she gave me 10,000 yen. Which was a lot of money. Actually, it wasn't that much money back then. It was like $50, right? But still, that's kind of a lot of money, right? And so, at the time, I was psyched. I was like, oh, it was worth it. It was worth sitting through and listening to all this stuff I didn't understand because I got money, right? But in hindsight, I wish I knew what she told me. No one else was in the room. My mom wasn't there. My cousin wasn't there, who speaks both Japanese and English. So this treasure of this information, lost. I have no idea what she said, right? And yet, I got to meet her. I say it's a precious opportunity. I can't show, I could show pictures of my grandparents of my dad's side, but it's kind of hard. I don't really have them scanned, and I never met them. My dad's father died in 1932, when my dad was 3 years old, and his mother died, I think, he met my mother, she met my mother. He took my mom, to meet her, but she saw pictures of me maybe, but never got to meet me. She died probably around 1971. I'm not even sure, right? So on my father's side, I've never met them, never in person. Okay? Now here's a really cool picture. Sorry, I went on a little tangent. This is my great-grandparents. I have no idea what their names are. This is the only picture I've ever seen of them. My aunt has talked about them once or twice. I don't remember what she told me, right? But great-grandparents. That's a pretty amazing picture, huh? This is going back. Great-grandparents. If my grandparents were like in their, 20s, 30s, in like 1930s, right? So they're 19th century born, right? So pretty amazing. I'm so happy to have this picture. Next time I visit, I got to get some info from my aunt. Right? Listen, maybe I should record it because my memory obviously doesn't work too good because she talked to me about them, but I don't remember. So parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. I wanted to talk just a little bit more about a 50th year memorial that I performed last weekend. 50th year. Right? So the person who we did the memorial for was born in 1888, 19th century, right? I think that's really cool. Have I met anyone born in the 19th century? I might have, like 40, 50 years ago, right? But not recently. I don't think anyone's around. Maybe one or two people, maybe, right? 125-year-old person, maybe not, huh? And she died in 1975 when I was 5. Actually, I was probably 4 years old, right? I didn't know this is another family, right? So in 2024, we did the 50th year memorial. And you might be saying, wait a second, she died in 1975. Shouldn't the 50 years later be 2025? And the answer is yes, 50 years later is 2025, but we do the memorial a year earlier, right? So that 2024 was her 50th year memorial. So we had the whole family was here, and we had generations here, right? So I was thinking, so she was definitely a mother. She had children. Okay? Grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, right? Yeah, we had the great-great-grandchild here, right? So that was pretty cool, having that many generations. And she wasn't here, so we didn't have her generation, but we had her children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and I believe great-great-grandchildren, right, here in the room. And then I was thinking, yeah, she was a mother. She was a grandmother. She was a great-grandmother, I think, maybe, or maybe not. Were her great-grandchildren born when she was still alive? She wasn't a great-great-grandmother, because they were just born within the past few years. But can't I say she is a great-great-grandmother? This is kind of the tangent I went off, right? For the other ones, I put it in past tense. She was a mother. Right? She had children, and so when she was alive, she was a mother. But she kind of is a mother too, huh? And she is a grandmother, and she is a great-grandmother, and she is a great-great-grandmother. Right? Even though she's passed 49 years ago, passed away, And yet, she is a great-great-grandmother because she has great-great-grandchildren. And her great-great-grandchildren make her a great-great-grandmother, right? Without them, she's not. I will never be a father or a most likely, 99%, I won't be a father or a grandfather or a great-grandfather. I can be a cat dad, but I can't be like a father, right? Because I'm not going to have children, right? But for her, she had these children and she had this great-great-grandchild. So, but I can't say she was because she wasn't when she was alive, right? But she is. Right? So I thought that was kind of neat to think about those relationships. And maybe that's one thing we can think about when we do Shotsuki and we think about the loved ones that we've lost. And yet, think about the relationship. Think about what you are to the person that passed, but then also think about what they are to you and that you make them that. To me, this is interconnectedness. Right? This is one aspect of interconnectedness that we talk about. Right? That it's less about me and more about my relationships and who I'm talking about, what context I'm talking about. So here, I'm a son, right, with my parents and their parents because of me, the son. I'm an only child too. And here, I'm a grandson with my grandparents. I'm a great-grandson, even though I never met my great-grandparents. Right? And they are my great-grandparents, are, present tense, even though they're in the past. One other thing I was thinking about, here's one more picture, me and my dad. I always think of us, we were both only children, but it's not true. I'm an only child, but actually my dad's mother had twins who were stillborn before he was born. And I've visited the grave. I want to visit again. I haven't been in like 30 years probably. But I visited that grave. And I used to think that, you know, they were never born. So in a way, they never existed. But I've learned that's not true. Right? My dad had brothers. Right? I have these uncles on my father's side. They had an impact. Right? They had an impact. They must have had such a deep impact on my grandmother, right? And through that, and my grandfather, and through that impact on my father, right? Even if he never met them, he never maybe even knew about them for years. And yet, they're his brothers, right? And had this impact on him, right? Not maybe in the way we think growing up together, right? They never had that chance. But they did have an impact on this world, on my dad, even on me. Right? And I'm actually a nephew in that way on my father's side, right? Even though maybe they never actually drew breath, right? And yet still having this deep impact. So I'll close with this one. Here's another one from when I was a kid up in Maine. So let's, on this Shotsuki day, right? If it is your Shotsuki, and maybe even if not, right? We can think about our relationships, realize that our relationships, the people in our lives, are part of who we are, right? And they make us who we are, right? In so many ways. Even people we don't know, right? And or people that we only meet in passing. Still, this impact. So I was thinking, so what do you think? Do you think Forrest Gump, Ichi-go, Ichi-e? Do you think that's a good title for the movie? Right? I think in English it's just Forrest Gump, right? Or is there a subtitle in English? I'm not sure. But in Japanese, right? Forrest Gump, Ichi-go, Ichi-e. Maybe these incredible encounters that he has, right? If you've seen the movie, he encounters JFK, John F. Kennedy, right? He encounters Elvis, right? He encounters, it's a movie, right? It's just a story. They insert him into these historical events. But if we kind of run with it, right? Wow, he had these encounters, and maybe even he had an impact on them. And so realizing, right, that if only we could live like this, if only we could live with each precious moment, appreciating each moment with appreciation and gratitude and awareness, right? If only we could live that way, I think our lives would be very different. Right? But maybe that's part of Namo Amida Butsu. right? Through Namo Amida Butsu, through our services like this, it brings us to reflect on our relationships, to reflect on our lives, right? And maybe that can give us these moments of appreciation, right? Moments of awareness and appreciation, and I think it could change our lives, right? Each moment has this possibility of changing our lives, right? Awakening us to something bigger, right? Taking me out of my ego shell and just my insular arrogance and narcissism, right? And opening it out into a world of people, right? And then how I interact with those people will be different too. So thank you very much for joining us for our Dharma Family Service, and especially this October Shotsuki Monthly Memorial. Why don't we conclude with Kansho? Each precious moment, a precious encounter. Ichi-go, Ichi-e. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, should we sing Ondokusan II? And I think we're going to have to do it a cappella, but I'll lead you, so it'll be okay. Ondokusan II is on page 76 in the small purple book, and page 220 in the big purple book. Oh, let me stop sharing. Boom. Okay, let's do it a cappella. I'll lead you. Okay, ready, go. Nyorai dai no ondoku wa miyoko ni shite mo hozu beshi. Shishu chishiki no ondoku mo hone o kudakite mo shasu beshi. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Okay, I'd like to call on Robert Noguchi for announcements.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. My name is Robert. Thank you very much for coming to today's Dharma Family Service and Shotsuki service for the month of October. There are a number of announcements, and first I want to thank Reverend Bridge for his Dharma Talk and officiating today's service. Our Host 8 group, which is downstairs, providing hospitality for everybody here at the temple, and our Zoom crew, doing our online presentation and our YouTube broadcast. So we had a number of things that happened last month, and that one of them was restarting our our study class and Dharma chat. And I'll be announcing the next ones coming up in just a few minutes, but we invite you to join us for both these events. Next week, we have an OBWA memorial service for three women that were instrumental in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. Ishini, who was Shinran Shonin's wife, Kakushini, who was Shinran Shonin's daughter, and Lady Otani, who helped start the Buddhist women's associations throughout the Jodo Shinshu Buddhism world. And we'll be paying tribute to them next Sunday, October 13th, a memorial service at 10 o'clock. So we hope you'll join us for that. The following Sunday will be our Keirokai, honoring our senior citizens. That'll be Sunday, October 20th. So please join us for that service and our tribute. And we'll have lunch afterwards. So we'd love to have you for that on Sunday, October 20th, starting at 10 o'clock. And then the end of October 27th, will be our BCO Dharma School annual Halloween party. So bring the children, bring the grandchildren, bring them, have them in costume. We'll have a short service here, and then we'll have a party downstairs in the social hall afterwards. So we hope you'll join us for that. So we got a lot going on just in the month of October. This is the first week of October. And so what's happening next? Once again, the Shini Kakushini Lady Otani Memorial Service next Sunday at 10. Our next Dharma Chat is taking place today at 10:45, right after today's service. So as you leave the Hondo, just take a left and go into the small chapel. And we'd love to have you join us for a Dharma Chat. And then our next study class will be next Saturday, October 12th, from 1 to 3 p.m. And the topic is The Only Thing I Know in Life is Gratitude. And that is based on the book Discovering Buddhism in Everyday Life by our bishop, Reverend Marvin Harada. So if you go to the BCO website on the homepage and click on the link, it'll come up with the text about gratitude that we'll be using for this session on Saturday, October 12th. So we hope you'll join us for that. So lots going on. Again, we want to thank you for coming. We want you to become a member of the family, the BCO family. If you have any questions, there's brochures downstairs. Take a look at the bulletin boards. They're all updated with all the latest information, what's going on here, or check the website. Thank you very much for supporting the Buddhist Church of Oakland. We appreciate you coming, and we hope you enjoyed your experience here today with us. And I think that's all I have to say, so I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Sensei.
Okay, thank you, Robert. So this will conclude our Dharma Family Service and October Shotsuki, and you can come up and offer incense if you have not had a chance to already. Why don't we conclude service with Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.